Hello everyone, welcome to my video review of the Nokia 1.4. So I've been using this device for the past 7 days, and in this video, I'll be sharing my full experience with you, hoping that the video will help in your buying decision. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and if you are new here, a sub to the channel will be highly appreciated. The 1.4 came in a minimal flat box. Out of the box, you are getting a 5-watt wall charger, micro USB 2.0, a TPU silicone case, SIM remover tool, and few paperworks. The device itself comes in a plastic body, and the design is similar to what you will see in most recent Android phones, especially those within this price point. Talking about price, the Nokia 1.4 starts at $100, and depending on your market or region, you may be getting a different storage model, which might dictate a different price for your region. Our review unit is a 2GB RAM model with 32GB internal storage, and this costs around 44,000 Naira in Nigeria, an equivalent of $107 US. For the design, there is a conventional power button and a volume rocker on the right hand side, a 3.5mm audio jack overhead, 3-in-1 card tray on the left hand side along with Google Assistant button, while the single primary microphone and the micro USB 2.0 sit on the basement. On the front, there is the speaker grill and a teardrop notch overhead where the selfie camera is kept. Turning on to the back, you are getting a circular camera module housing dual sensors and a single LED flash, while a fingerprint scanner, Nokia branding, and the loudspeaker grill occupy the rest of the back. As for the build quality, there is just one thing I think Nokia could have done better. That is because of the space between the rear panel and the innards, which is noticeable when tapping on the back of the phone. Aside this, the Nokia 1.4 is well built, and despite the slightly large display and battery capacity, it is still fairly light in the hand, weighing around 178 grams. I also like the fact that Nokia went for a textured matte finish, which helped prevent finger magnet instead of a shiny glossy finish. Display is one of the most developed aspects of smartphone in recent times, and when it comes to smartphone displays, it is mostly the more expensive the smartphone, the better. So given the price of the Nokia 1.4, you should be able to estimate the segment of its display quality already. Icons and menu will not look painted on the screen as would a flagship smartphone, but if you are someone like me not expecting much, then you won't be disappointed. Although I wish the phone's brightness could be a little more higher, especially under brighter sunny days. There are two aspects of the display that I love so much. First is the adaptive display algorithm, which works very well, so much so that when it is on, you won't be able to increase or reduce the display brightness, especially if the algorithm thinks otherwise. And secondly, the touch panel on the 1.4 is super responsive and mostly accurate when typing. Moreover, the panel supports 10 finger touches at a time, making the device a great option for those who want to game on a budget. Hardware and software are the two most important aspects of every smartphone, simply because the functionality of all other areas of the phones depend on them. So starting from the CPU, Nokia decided to retain same Qualcomm Snapdragon 215 CPU used in the older 1.3. The CPU is a quad-core unit clocked at 1.3 GHz along with Adreno 308 GPU. Interestingly, despite being a 2019 CPU, it still does hold its ground fairly well for a smartphone at this price point. We got 60,744 score in Antutu V8, even though GPU test was declared unsupported. Geekbench report 100 and 356 scores in both single and multi-core tests respectively. In addition to the CPU, and as stated earlier, our review unit is the 2GB RAM variant with 32GB internal storage. This setup will get you through a smooth day-to-day use of conventional apps without any issue. My setup includes dual 4G SIM, data always on with tethering enabled, 2 email accounts along with my social media and web start apps, all of which the 1.4 handled fairly well. Yes, I did notice stutters and hiccups here and there, but this has more to do with the CPU than the OS. Talking about the OS, out of the box, the Nokia 1.4 boot Android 10 Go edition with planned update to Android 11. I've actually received minor updates and security patches twice, but no Android 11 yet. The OS is super polished and optimized, focused primarily at giving you the best performance given the CPU. Unlike competitors' devices at this price point that are mostly crashed down with custom skins, ads and bloatwares, the Nokia 1.4 stands out with stock Android 10 that is free from bloatware and ads. You will notice the minimalistic design of the OS right from the home screen up to the notification drawer. When I first set up the phone, there were only 3 toggles in the notification bar and I added the rest myself. The default setting app is also well polished with rounded icons and minimal elements. Opening Chrome browser takes you straight to default and original google.com without extra customization. Apps that requires further screen interactions and overlays are pushed downward for ease of use and accessibility. For example, when editing or adding new content, the interactive overlay is hooked to the bottom chin of the phone for ease of accessibility. So even though the phone is around 6.5 inches display, it can still be comfortably used by folks with shorter fingers. Although there is still an aspect of the OS that I don't like, and that is the multitasking pane. When you hit the task button and arrive at the multitasking page, you can only see 9 previously used apps in the multitasking page. That is, even if you previously opened 13 or 17 apps, the 1.4 will only show you 9 most recent of them. And it does not mean those 9 are still active in the background. Some are already closed. While this is done for optimization's sake, it might not be helpful for those who want to see the list of apps that were recently opened on their devices. Aside the little personal preference above, I think Nokia still did well to harmonize and optimize the hardware and software aspect of this phone. Despite having an CPU with 2GB of RAM, I was still able to play some games with good graphics. I tried manually installing Asphalt 9 and could not, but I was able to install and play FIFA 2021, PUBG and other less intensive games. You will just need to endure extensive loading time, especially for games like PUBG. As far as camera is concerned, the rear module is rounded like every other recent Nokia phones out there. But unlike these other recent Nokia phones with some having 3 or 4 camera lenses, the Nokia 1.4 comes with only 2 camera lenses, which includes 8MP main lens with f2.0 aperture along with 2MP macro snapper, while a single 5MP lens with f2.4 aperture is used in the notch up front. The camera interface is nothing extraordinary, but polished just like other aspects of the phone. There is a dedicated portrait mode, photo mode, video mode, and translation section, which can auto-translate text from one language to another. The photo mode offers you few more additional features like HDR, self-timer, and night mode, which is applicable to both the rear and front camera. In addition to normal images, the 1.4 can also take macro shots. While I will not depend on any 8MP camera phone in 2021 for major camera needs, I still think the Nokia 1.4 did fairly well and even better than some competitors, especially when you snap outdoors or in well-lit indoors. For security, you need to rely on the Face ID, the rear fingerprint scanner, or default Android locks. Both the Face ID and the rear fingerprint scanner did work, but not as expected from a device at this price point. This is my advice for you. If you own this device or you are considering buying one, you might need to register one fingerprint twice to increase your unlock success rate. Otherwise, you'll need to press the sensor a little harder in order to unlock your phone. And just some quick words on the call speaker that comes with this phone. It does not add a secondary loudspeaker, but it is very loud and clear when on call. The loudspeaker is loud and clear with highs, mids, but almost absent lows. Remember, the loudspeaker is on the rear, and when playing music, you might need to turn the device face down to prevent it from being muffled on hard surfaces. But this is also an advantage, especially when watching movies or playing games. Your finger won't interfere with the sound since the speaker is on the rear. On the battery department, there is a 4000 mAh non-removable battery on the inside, which is 1000 more than the Nokia 1.3. With this number, moderate users can expect between 24 to 48 hours of use, and when it drops to 15%, there is a bundled power saving mode which automatically switches to dark mode and restricts background data for longer use. But Nokia is giving you only 5V1A charger, which is an equivalent of 5W charger, and this takes hours to get the device from 0% to 100. So in conclusion, I think the Nokia 1.4 is a great buy for those on budget. At just $100 or 40,000 naira in Nigeria, the device offers so much more than competitors with solid build quality, optimized OS that is free from ads, and battery power of above a day. Oh, how I wish that it was 10W charger that was in the box and that the Face ID is a little more accurate and faster. Hopefully Nokia will address these issues in the upcoming Nokia 1.5. Anyway, thank you so much for coming this far. Please give this video a thumb up, subscribe to the channel, and it is Steve here from Droid Africa.